Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is here. I am here, Oscar Boone, and today I'm going to be showing you the jump state that I have programmed into the Action RPG course. And let's get started. All right. So what we have here is an item that I've created. Feather allows you to jump, experiment jumping on different items at different heights. So what this essentially does, at its very core, is it changes the player Y position, and then as soon as he falls down on the ground, he creates this little smoke cloud, which is really nice. He also creates some particles. Right now I'm jumping straight into a wall so you can see the full effect, but he jumps quite far actually. Not only that, but I've also programmed him to work with certain items, such as the bomb. You just, bam, look at him flying. This is like Junkrat or the Demo Man, you know, jumping on bombs and explosives. I also had it set to like, so whatever his speed is, he's gonna like take in that speed, you know. So if he's like moving really fast, he's gonna like incorporate that in the jump. So which is really nice, you know. So if you have any items that give him momentum, you can combine those items to create a different result. It's pretty cool. Something else about this too is he's invincible while he jumps in. You know, his actual X position is here on the shadow. The sprite, the thing that is being drawn higher, but he's always going to be like on the shadow. But when he's on the when he's in the air, he doesn't take damage, or he's not supposed to take damage. I don't think I took damage there. Maybe when I landed. So that's how it works. It's just a jump state, and that's what we're going to be programming in today. So the first thing you got to do first is you have to add the player jump. I have it here. Remember, these go start at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And these are going to be corresponding to our these user events. You know, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, user event 7. This is 7. All right. So let's go to the jump state. So the way it works is I thought it was all right. So the first thing we're gonna do actually is we're gonna go into the move state, and then we're going to set a jump flag, and we're gonna set this to true. I use flags a lot. What they do is, if you're using GameMaker, sometimes you're using the step event, and in the step event, everything is being continuously created depending on the frames that are in the room. But sometimes you only want something to go off once. You know, a good example would be a sound effect. You know, you land on the ground and you want there to be the sound effect of you hitting the ground, and you want that sound effect to play once. But since the player is on the step event, that sound effect is going to continuously be playing, and it's going to like just really hurt our ears, which we don't want at all. So we set this flag in because during steps we can like we can run an event just once, even if we're in a step event. That's what that does. So jump state equals true. So I have it twice. I don't know why. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get the X and Y inputs. You might remember that, oh, this looks very similar to the move state, right? You can just copy and paste the code here. I should probably have it somewhere. It should be in the move state though. I changed it a little. Oh, here it is. I changed it. So just copy and paste that here, and then we're gonna. So this just gives us the movement. Then we're gonna put input direction equals point direction 0, 0, and then it's gonna be the X input and the Y input. This is going to be responsible for controlling our direction while we're in the ground and we're in the air. Alright, so here's one of the first flags that I have. This is one of the scripts that was given to us by Ben. I'll go over the script in case you don't have it. So if you hit the 0 frame and the jump flag is equal to true, then we're gonna play the jump audio effect, and then we're gonna set this to false. So oh yeah, oh okay, so that was a flag and this is the jump state. Okay, Alright, so that's why we use our flag in order to play the jumping sound effect. We only want it to play once. And if it wasn't for this flag, it would just it would play multiple times, which we don't want. As for the this itself, the script, just in case you don't have it, I'll like look at it here for you. So the frame, how many frames are, which frame we're going to be doing it on, and speed is equal to. This is the equivalent of like room speed. Well, that's GameMaker 1.4. For GameMaker 2 though, it would be this. Okay, there we go. Game get speed equals FPS. This is a very long way of just saying 1 second. I just changed it to this, and then I made a. Actually, here's a really pro tip for this GameMaker Studio. This is freaking long to write, and this is still very long to write because you still have to write the global. This is very annoying, and it takes a lot of time because you refer to 2 seconds a lot in GameMaker. So one of the things that I found out that saves 10 years worth of time is going to be this. Create a new script. Create script. Go to macros, and then write this exactly as it's done. Hashtag macro sec game get speed, and then in parentheses game speed underscore FPS. Now what this essentially does is the macros are variables that cannot be changed. So this is like the same thing as saying global dot 1 second equals game get speed FPS. It's a freaking long thing to write, and you know it's a global variable. We can access it anywhere in the game, but it's still super long. And even if we should cut it down to like sec, you still have to write global, which I still think is pretty long. So in order to like be even lazier, because I'm a lazy guy, I do this. And now anytime I write sec in all capital letters, it'll give me this, you know, the equivalent of 1 second. So it's super quick for when you're coding. So we could even change that to here. You can just write in sec, and that'll give us the equivalent of 1 second. Then we're going to write sprite get speed, sprite index, return image index greater than equal to underscore frame plus 1 minus image underscore speed slash underscore speed, and image index less than underscore frame plus 1. Alright. So what that does essentially is if this is a frame 0 of the image index, you know, the very first image that starts in. During that image index, we're going to play the jump sound effect. Okay, jump. And then afterwards, we're going to make sure we don't play it again. So here, what has happened is the player has now landed. Play the flag sound effect. Okay. If the animation hit frame is equal 1.1, this is like 1 frame afterwards, and jump flag is equal to false, instant create layer, X, Y, instances, land cloud, audio effect, evade. Well, you wouldn't write audio effect. You would write audio play sound. I just have it on audio effect to control. If I can create, you can create like an audio system. So like you can have your player lower or higher the sound effects or the music, and I have like a system put in place. But you can just use the audio play sound. It'll deliver the same thing. I'll go over the land cloud in a bit. Make sure the player faces the right way. This is responsible to, if it wasn't for this, we would be jumping with the wrong sprite index. Then we're going to be setting the Z speed. Z underscore greater than equal to minus 10. And then we're going to be setting image speed equals to 1.5. Else, image underscore speed equals to 0, image index is equal to 0. Really quickly. Thought I was gonna have something here concerning the. Guess I didn't. It must be the move state. Oh, here it is. Oh, hey Alex. Oh, I'm busy right now. Be big. Okay, we're gonna need these really quickly. First is gonna be z underscore is equal to 0. Then we're gonna have z underscore speed underscore equals to negative 3.5. Gravity, we're gonna set it to 0.2. And then flag underscore jump, we're gonna set it to true. We're gonna be using these variables, but it's very important that the variables are reset in the move state, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna be jumping, and during the jump, the game is gonna look at these variables. But and once we hit the ground, it's going to reset the variables back to these ones. So we're gonna be like moving these variables around during jump state, but when we go to move state, they go back to this. You know, it's like here it's this, and then here we can like write something else. This is for something else. Reset movement. Okay, so if the jump underscore state is equal to true, we're gonna be changing some of the values. Acceleration is gonna equal to 0.5. Max underscore speed is equal to 1.5. Then we're gonna set the jump state to false. This is another flag we have. Jump flag. That's the flag I mentioned earlier. All right. Jump. Okay. So I have that. That's great. Good job, guys. We're like halfway done, I think. The next thing we're gonna do is if input direction is equal to 0 and underscore x input is equal to 0, then this just means that we're not moving at all, and we're just not going to give any extra speed. Then we're going to do get underscore direction facing, underscore input underscore direction, and then we're going to add movement max speed, input direction, acceleration. This is we're going to set the speed, and then this makes sure that we actually move at all. This is a custom script that I wrote. I'll look at it for you guys. It's oh man, it's like 2 1. So this is so convenient though. Get animation animation end. You're going for this script. It's going to return animation hit frame, which we've created already. Image number -1. All right, so if we have ended our animation, you're going to run this. We're going to set our state to the player move state. Then we're going to set max speed, and then we're going to increase it by just a little bit. You know, the reason why is you know, you're moving really fast in the air. So when you land on the ground, you're moving really fast for just a little bit. And then I have like a variable that like is gonna slow the player down. You know, so even though it has increased it here, it gets lower somewhere else. But since you don't have that variable, I would suggest maybe taking it out. Okay, then we're gonna set our z. Our z-axis essentially. So we have the x and y-axis, you know, and we're gonna add the z-axis, which is commonly placed in video games. The way you implement this is pretty simple. You go into the draw state, and you're gonna copy this code. I'll explain what it does. So what it's gonna do is if the player is in the jump state, it's gonna run this, and for all other states, it's gonna run this instead. So here we have okay, so if the state is you know, I know any of the other states, it's gonna be, you know, you draw a little shadow, 0xy, you're gonna draw yourself, and then we're gonna draw the hit flash that was in the tutorial. Okay, so now for the jump state itself, we draw sprite, the medium shadow, and then here's the big one. Draw sprite is sprite index. So we're going to be drawing our sprite. You know, it's pretty much the same thing as draw self with one exemption. This y plus z underscore. I don't know if you remember in the items, but if we do this, we can keep our player position in the x and y, but it's going to be drawn higher. So the player itself isn't actually moving, like the object of the player isn't moving. The sprite that's being drawn is just drawn a little higher, and it gives you the illusion that you're flying, which I think is pretty cool. Alright, so z underscore is going to equals z speed. This is going to like just set it for the jump. You know, so these are our jump variables. Z underscore speed plus equals gravity underscore. If z underscore square equal to 0, and then we're going to add a bounce amount equal to 0.5, 0.25, z underscore speed underscore is equal to negative z underscore speed underscore times bounce amount. You can definitely use like shorter ones, shorter variables. If z underscore speed square equal to -1, then we're gonna make sure that our z speed is now 0, and where we are in the z-axis, it is now 0. So, all right, okay. And then afterwards, we're gonna be creating the cape trail, and instance create layer xy, the instances layer. So the cape trail, the way this is set up, that little sparkle effect, let's have it like this. It's nice. I made it blurrier because it ended up looking better than if it wasn't blurry. So okay, so I have an object inherited too. We gotta make sure I take that into account. Okay, it's just a draw event. Draw self, color. Okay, so we're gonna copy this and just, okay. Need to make sure I delete this. Okay, I just made it so when I explain okay, so the code, everything, it works for you. Okay, so we're gonna look at our create event. First, we're gonna set our image speed. It's gonna be 1. Alarm 0 is equal to sec. You know that macro that I told you about? Very handy here. It's just gonna last 1 second. Destroy me is equal to false. This is another flag we're gonna do. We're gonna image alpha is equal to 0. If instance exists O player, then we're gonna create this. Var random is equal to random range -5 and +5. This makes it so it spawns in different areas, you know, so it's not spawning in one different place. So we're going to be drawing it where the player is, and we're going to be drawing the y position to the O_player.y plus, so this is we're just going to write it on the y position plus the player's z. And you know, so that way, like when the player actually jumps, this is going to get drawn on the player rather than the object's actual position, which if you saw in that little demo, it was the shadow. Then we're going to subtract 8. The reason why is because the player is being it's because of this. We want the sparkling cape, the sparkling cape to spawn like here in the center of the player. We don't want it to spawn on his feet where the this X is, the preview mask, the thing that says where the coordinates of the player. So what we do is we just subtract 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is somewhere where it gets us. So that's why we subtract 8 from there. And then we're going to add our random range that we had here. Then for x, we're going to equal that to OPlayer.x minus ran, our random range. Alright, we're almost done, guys. So then we're going to look at the image out. This is our step event. This is pretty simple. If at any point the image alpha, which is how transparent something is, if something is, if you can't see it, you know, it's 100% transparent is equal to 0. If you can't see it, it's super clear and you cannot see behind it, image alpha equals to 1. So if image alpha is less or equal to, this will make it easier. If I just, oh man, oh boy, oh there we go. So if the image alpha, the transparency, is less than 70% of the original image, so it's 30% transparent and 70% solid. I don't know if that makes sense. 70% solid and 30% transparent. So it's more solid than transparent. So if at any point the image alpha is less than 70%, it's going to be adding 10%. I think the reason we do this is if I remember correctly, is because we had a object player. Wait, this is equal to the Cape Trail. Okay, I think I know why though. Okay, all right. Then we're going to look at our alarm 0. Alarm 0 is going to equal to destroyed _me equals true. Wait. Huh. Okay, so set all our alarm to 1 second. And 1 second, destroy me is going to equal to 1. Oh, but it doesn't matter because in animation end, it'll just destroy itself. Alright. So in the draw event, we're going to add var color is equal to, oh, yeah, that's right. That's why I changed it here. We don't need to put anything in the draw event, actually. Yeah, we don't even need a draw event. My mistake. This is like the child. It wasn't a parent. Alright, so animation end, instance destroy. Okay, should be good. So after we have completed all of that, we should have our jump. Let's check it out. Oh, this is also a level something I've been working on. I've been using these random level generators to like create these rooms. And the idea is, here's one of an enemy that I've kind of sort of combined. It's like a porcupine with a bomb attached to him. And if the player gets close to him, the porcupine like runs at you with the bomb. Yeah. And then this is like experience that I've like created. Oh. And so one of the cool things about the porcupine, the evil porcupine is that it explodes with the bomb. And that makes the death 10 times cooler than here. Also, when you level up, if you collect these blue things, I also made it so like the game speed lowers by like 50%. So the game speed lowered by 50%, and then you level up. I thought that looked really much nicer. Also, I changed the stamina bar too, because I wanted some things to like have different things. Like, okay, oh, by the way, guys, check this out. It's the new boomerang. So if you press the mouse anywhere on the screen, it deletes like 5. And then if you draw like a path, it's fine. But if you draw too many, it'll start depleting it. Huh. Oh, that feels so nice. Alright guys, that was the flying command. And if you want to like, oh, and also like explain how I did the jump. Dang, that is loud. I'm gonna lower it eventually at some point. So for the smoke cloud, the way I did it was I simply, okay, so I went to effects. Alright, so here's a smoke cloud. And I don't know if it looks familiar to to any of you guys. It'll definitely look familiar to Ben. He'll be like, I know what that is. It is the bomb explosion. It is not the bomb explosion. It is the enemy death. Ha! So prepared. It is these three, and I just colored them white. And then you're using like the same art for different purposes. And no one will know because it's a different color. They'll think you're like you draw a lot more, but you don't. You're just reusing assets. Also, I started from here rather than here. I don't know. It just looked a little better to me. You can try from here, but after you just copy and paste these frames, I just colored them white, and then I added gray areas here, and then I don't think there's any code, like any complex code on the clouds. It's a very here it is, land cloud. Yeah, it's just image index is equal to 0, image speed is equal to 1, then animation end, instance destroy. This would be how the Cape Trail is programmed. This is way overcomplicated. Alright, well, that's it. Alright guys, I'm gonna be off now, but before I do, here's something really cool that you guys might like, So, I'm coming up with like upgrades, for that game that I'm doing, and some of them are like this. Good boy. Boomerang returns to you when hitting the balls. I'm thinking of like upgrade ideas. Natural charisma, twice as likely to find hearts, not lifesteal. Hitting an enemy may restore stamina, instead of health. Efficiency, boomerang costs less stamina. If you can like think of any upgrades that you have, like if you've ever played a game and there has been like an upgrade that has, holy crap, it has changed the way you play, or one of your favorite upgrades for some game that you've played, let me know in the comments below, because one of my favorites was like this one. It's like deal twice as much damage and receive twice as much damage. That was in the Mario and the 1,000-Year-Old Door. Wish I could write. This one's from like Fallout. Scavenger. You can like find more stuff. Thick belt. Your hunger meter stays full twice as long. Anyways, if you have like any ideas on just actually not even ideas, but what is your favorite upgrade that you've ever had in a video game? Let me know, because I wanna know. Thanks, guys. If this helped you out in any way, please remember to subscribe. I know it sounds very cliche. Thank you very much. I'm sure it has helped you, and I'm sure we're gonna create a super good jump in your next game. Have a great day.